thought my chair got caught in the carpet a little bit. I thought I ran over my cat, but it's fine. See, the cat's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Kitten. Say hi to the people. Smokey. Smokey. Hi. Oh, sweet girl kitten. There you go. There's the money shot. Okay. Gotta play with the camera angles. It's a live stream. We're live in the live stream talking about Jesus and Christianity and whatever else. Why should I believe? Should I be worried about hell? I'm not. Should I be? Thank you. Were they just in the drawer?
No. Hidden in all your jackets and coats.
Hidden in all my jackets and coats?
On top of the thing. In between all your jackets and coats.
Did not check there. Thank you. I love you.
Sure you do.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, clearly, because you couldn't find your own wedding ring.
Okay, first off, this is a copy of my alternative wedding ring.
Still.
I think.
The fact that you needed a copy.
I wanted a copy to protect the OG. Speaking of which, isn't that in the security box? Probably, right?
No.
No?
It should be, but it's not.
Oh. Well.
It's in the nice new drawer. I know where it's at.
Well, as long as, did you take it?
Don't worry. I know exactly where it's at.
Did you take it out of the box?
No, we never put it in it.
We never put it in the box?
No, we didn't.
Damn.
We didn't.
Were we just too lazy to unlock it and mess with it?
We would have had to go and get our keys. Yeah, I think it just comes down to we were too lazy.
I think I get too lazy just to move stuff around to get the box out, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I got the keys. The keys are right there, like a foot away from it.
You're not normally in this room, are you, Kitty?
So I haven't seen her all day. She just kind of showed up. I mean, I saw her when I fed them, but that's it. Maybe that's it.
I came home. This is my kitty now.
Is there any reason to believe in a God? Any reason to believe in Jesus? To follow Jesus?
He's right behind you.
He is. This is true. I do have a Jesus. Where is he?
Welcome to the first live in Drew's new office.
There he is. There he is. There's a little man guarding the Spanish dictionary, as you should, I guess. He's not on the shelf with like all the Bibles, because why would he be?
I would have laughed if you put him next to the Satanic Bible.
Next to the Satanic Bible, just guarding it.
I would have laughed.
I don't even know where this thing. There it is. Well, there's a pitchfork by the Satanic Bible, ish. I don't have a reason to believe in Jesus. You hear some of the same arguments over and over when you make/watch content like this, and someone commented today there were over 500 eyewitnesses of Jesus resurrecting. So says a book. We don't have 500 eyewitness accounts. We just have a book that says, I can say that I sprouted wings yesterday and flew around the city and 10,000 people saw me. Doesn't make it true. Also, you don't have to be perfect. It's not a religion. It's a relationship. Sure, it's a relationship where you believe in an all-powerful supreme being and follow all of his rules. and do his rituals and whatnot. Huge difference. Huge difference. Completely different, actually. Can't even be compared. Nope, that's not what I want to open. It's a religion. I don't know. I feel like Maui from Moana when he gives like that. If you wear a dress and you have an animal sidekick, you're a princess. If you worship a deity and you construct your life around that deity and worship and praise that deity and whatnot, you're in a religion or a cult, which are kind of the same thing, but you know, we don't necessarily have to treat them as such. Can I help you? Jesus. I understand if people want to say like, no, my religion is special and different, and it's different because it's not an actual religion, because it's a relationship. He's the only being that wants to he's the only proposed deity that wants to have a relationship with you. It's like, great, it's still a religion. There are also people who try to use that, he's the only one that wants to have a relationship with you as extra credible evidence, or, what other religions did a god become man and do all this, whatever else. It's assuming the unique things brought up about Christianity are, in fact, unique. It doesn't really do anything for the argument for Christianity. Your story... Hey, don't claw the carpet. So your story has unique things. Cool. Other stories, other religions also have some unique characteristics and aspects. That doesn't necessarily make them true. The relationship thing with Jesus is also messed up. Jesus, God, whatever, same thing technically, depending on how you want to interpret it. Because it's a relationship. He wants a relationship. A nice, good, loving relationship. And you better accept that relationship, or he'll torture you forever for all of eternity. Or allow you to be tortured. Or you'll choose to be tortured by denying him, because if you deny him, the only other possibility for some strange reason is eternal suffering, because that's the type of system that an all-living being sets up. Because why not? Why not? As a Christian, we do not condemn the hate given out by many groups. Do not condone might be what they were trying to say. We are sorry if you were oppressed as a kid by Christianity. Also, Catholic is a pretty oppressive part of Christianity. I agree. Catholicism isn't great. Whenever I tell people that I am an ex-Catholic, they like to say, oh, see, that makes sense. That's why you left the faith. Well, no, not necessarily. I agree. Catholicism is a very special flavor of Christianity. But that's not why I left the faith. Also, and it's a good thing that they put that if. Because some people just assume that you were oppressed by Christianity and say, I'm sorry that you were oppressed by Christianity. Remember, it's the church that hurt you, not God, and all this stuff, even though that's not how all of us find our way out. Not everyone who has left Christianity just because they were hurt by the church. It's just not the case. It's funny how, depending where people are born, they always seem to be born into the right religion and the right God. Isn't it funny how that works? Isn't it awfully convenient how that works? Good to see you again. I enjoy your lives. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't really been on top of my shit lately, unfortunately. But I'm here tonight. I'm here now. And isn't that really all that matters at the end of the day? Bless you equals I hope my imaginary friend doesn't kick the shit out of you. Yeah. More or less. I'm just reading some comments.
Cubby.
What did you just say?
Cubby.
Cubby?
Cubby cute.
Yeah. Hey. My cat was on the bottom shelf of my bookcase because there's nothing on the bottom shelf of my bookcase. But then she moved. What can you do?
I swear, if you just put like a blanket or something down there, they'd probably lay on it.
Yeah, I might have to. It's just a thin shelf.
Yeah.
Kind of the only reason I haven't.
Yeah.
Somebody said, so I made a video a while back about just like family. It's just a little skit of like something a family member said, and it was just like bothersome. And someone commented recently, they are still family. Family is family. I want to point out that family does not necessarily have to be family. You do not always get to choose who you are blood related to. You don't usually get to choose who you are blood related to. But you can choose your family. You can choose who you allow in your life, who you give access to yourself, how many boundaries you have up against certain people, how many people you want to cut off. There are blood relatives who you can cut off, even and have them not be family anymore. There are friends, there are people who are not related to you by blood who can be family, who can become family. Now, obviously, I'll admit this might be a little bit of a privileged take, because there are instances where people can't really cut off family. It is not that simple. People aren't really in a position where they can survive without their family. They might be dependent on their family in one shape, form, or another. There might be more societal or social group pressures. But it's very important to note that there's a cat just furiously pawing at the door from the outside.
Which cat do you think? Take a guess.
That's Snickers. Peanut wouldn't be that ferocious. Kitten.
Do you
Kitten.
want it?
She just wanted the door open. So it might not be always be practical to cut certain people out of your lives, but if you're in a position where you don't need them or rely on them, you don't need to keep people in your life just for the sole purpose of, well, they're blood related to you. It's like, I know, your uncle did this, but he's still your uncle, he's still family. No, fuck that. It is not as simple, hi kitten, it is not as simple as just family is still family. Kitten. Kitten.
She's purring.
I got scared for a second when I started the live because I came in and I closed the door and Smokey was walking around. And I moved back in my chair a little bit and it got stuck in the carpet a little bit. I thought I ran Smokey over. I'm like, shit. And then she was walking around over there. I'm like, okay, it's just the carpet. Cute cat. She is a cute kitten.
You got cute. Her purring intensifies when you pet her.
This isn't my cat.
This one's yours. Cute kitty.
I think this one might be our daughter's more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, kitten. Hi, sweet girl.
You're loving this, aren't you? Getting all the attention.
I know a cat named Pablo Picasso. That is an amazing cat name.
I love that.
That is, I completely approve. Looking professional now. It looks a little bit better. looks a little bit better, you know? Maybe not perfect, but I'm really happy with it. And I think that's really all that matters. I need to post on my Patreon. I haven't done it in a while, but for a while I was posting a bookshelf update, which was just like books that I was adding to my collection. I gotta post a picture of this on the Patreon of like
An actual bookshelf.
bookshelf update.
Actual bookshelf.
Actual bookshelf. But I like it. Got some of my books. I was really excited because I was going through all of our books. I didn't realize I still had so many like old textbooks.
Yeah.
So I got really excited to see all of those. I want to find something else. This giant binder has a psychology textbook in it. You wouldn't really know it. It's just kind of a giant binder, but it's a textbook, I promise.
You want to just make some kind of label for it? Take that tape off and slide something in the side here.
Might, yeah.
Print something off, slide it in there.
Print something off. I'd probably take a picture of like the
Printer.
title that says psychology. Does it have color ink?
Yes.
Probably take a picture of like the title of the book, the psychology title. And slap that on.
Working printer.
Styrofoam. I can never escape it.
Everywhere. I picked up multiple pieces when I first came in here.
The boxes that the shelves came in,
Covered.
the styrofoam that they used to pack it was obliterated. So it just got everywhere.
You know, the cat's name Pablo Picasso should be Pablo.
Pablo Picasso.
Pablo.
I hate it even more, and I love it even more.
Hey, don't you be going around starting to chew on cords.
I made a video recently talking about saying that God's a horrible potter. Because people like to use the potter and clay analogy. God can do whatever he wants with his creation, just like a potter can do whatever he wants with his clay, except for we're not clay. We're not inanimate lumps of thing. We're thinking, feeling, breathing beings that he shouldn't just be able to smash and squish however he'd like. And somebody commented, it's a metaphor. You're thinking as if this life is it. This life is the time to prepare to meet God. We are here in order to learn and improve and then spend eternity with God after this life. God's glory is to bring to pass the immortality and eternal life of man. I often get accused, as being an atheist, I get accused of having the worldview of this life doesn't matter then. Nothing matters. If there's no God, no objective, purpose, morals, whatever, then nothing in this life matters, and we're all just cease to exist in the end and whatever else. And I often argue, if there is no afterlife, there's no God or anything, then this life is the only thing that matters. It is the most important and everything that matters. And comments like this only help that. Because if this God exists, then this life really doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's just the pregame. It's just the test to see which eternal ending you're going to get. That's it. It's nothing. Like, we might as well just die straight out the womb. Like, it's just save time. Especially when people try to defend things like God murdering babies in the Bible by saying, well, since they're babies, he killed them before they could sin, so they go straight to heaven. What are we even doing here then? Like, why? Why not just all die? Kieran K, well, big man on campus with that professional setup. Yeah, I like it. Also, hello. I just came from your...
Okay, this was part of my secret project.
Yeah, this was part of her secret project. Was clearing out... This was our daughter's playroom, and we moved that downstairs.
I did.
She did. Her secret project. Cleaned it out, painted, and then she got me a desk and bookshelves, and I got to take the rest. Take it from there.
And 2 days.
You did.
2 days. You had no freaking clue.
It was quite impressive. But yeah, I've always wanted like an office space and like a bookshelf set up in the back. So this makes me happy. She did well. Might keep her around another year. We'll see. I just came from your vid about leaving Christianity and saw that you're live on YouTube. Well, hello. That is an old video. It's still one of my most popular videos that I get like the most comments and likes on across a couple different platforms that I post on. It is one of my oldest videos.
I might request that your next update or, addition to your office is a chair for your loving wife to lounge on while she's chilling with you during your naps.
Buy a chair or get a beanbag chair. When did I post that Leaving Christianity video? There it is. Where did I post it? Date. Date, please. Date, please. Not an option, I suppose. Yeah, been at least a couple of years since I posted that video. It's an old one, but it's a good one. It's simple, straightforward, to the point, effective, serves its purpose. And yeah, the comment that I read, you don't need to be perfect as a religion, not a relationship, and the 500 witnesses, was on that video. A couple of these comments are. So yeah, glad to know that video is still like alive and stuff. It was pretty good. I remind you of the actor David. I'm not going to try to pronounce that word because I'll sound offensive at how much I'll fuck it up. But is that a good thing? Is he cute? I'm going to look him up. He better be cute. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me see.
Well, I just got rid of it. A little bit. A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Okay.
I see it.
I see it.
Oh, I was just going to read a comment. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. Biblical prophecies are continuing to be fulfilled. The life and love are miracles from God each day. So God's going to take away our free will and force us to bow down to him. That's cute. Biblical prophecies are not, as far as we can tell, being fulfilled every single day. And life and love are a thing that happen, and we have some kind of understanding of it, but just because you don't understand fully doesn't mean it has to have been something magical or godness. And yeah. Boop, boop, boop.
Lizzie.
What?
Lizzie.
I don't have this.
Lizzie.
Oh, hi, Lizzie. Took a second to pop up.
What?
I assume that's what you were talking about, but I'm just like, I don't see in chat. There is no Lizzie.
There is Lizzie.
Hello.
Lizzie, you're gonna have to come see all of this.
All of our stuff. We got boneless couches downstairs.
You do. They're awesome.
Because
They
that's
came
a,
vacuum sealed.
because that's a thing, and they're called boneless couches. And they're like my favorite thing in the world. It looks sick. I like it. I like it. And I got like a proper like L-shaped desk and everything too. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I'll send her a picture.
Is that a picture?
Yeah. Smile. I said that angle, you couldn't even quite like actually get the L shape, but like you can kind of see it.
God is and will always be God. God is and will always be God. They lowercase to the second God. That's interesting. I keep seeing every now and then on like threads or whatever, there'll be a trend, a trending phrase. Somebody will say something, and then I'll see like 5 other people posting that, just piggybacking off of each other, I guess. But one of the recent ones was, can we normalize capitalizing the G in God? Send it to the family chat. That's okay.
Oh, did I? I
Yeah,
did.
it's okay. People are saying, can we normalize capitalizing the G in God? You know, it's God capital G, not lowercase g. And to that I say it depends on who we're talking about. If we're talking about a God, a generic God being or anything like that, it's lowercase. A God is lowercase. If we're talking about God as in the Christian God, because Christians have no imagination in that regard and just called their God God, it would be a capital G, because that is his name, at least the name that we have given him. So that's the difference. But then, of course, there are some people who, when talking about the Christian God, do just put it in a lowercase. Most of the time, it seems just out of spite. Just out of spite. And, you know, I'm not one of them. I like to be grammatically correct and respectful to the best of my ability. It's good to be... I'm one of those content creators. I don't really go out of my way to try to be... What's the word I'm looking for? Combative and whatnot. I try to be a little bit more nice and respectful. And maybe that's a problem. Maybe I'm too nice and give too much respect. I don't know. I've been accused of being too nice many times. But I'm not, and this isn't like I'm above it or I'm too good or whatever. It's just I'm not one for intentionally lowercasing the G in God when I'm talking about the Christian God, just to spite and be mean. Is that a pine needle?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It just kind of spawned.
They do that.
Did the cat bring it in?
Probably. I'm not one of those who's gonna lowercase the... Sure, here. I'm not one of those who's gonna lowercase the G in God just to be an asshole, you know? Or come up here saying like, these stupid Christians. It's not me. It's not my vibe. And that's probably why my channel is still so small. And why it probably won't ever grow, because I'm not here getting hot and dunking on all the theists. I'm just kind of here to talk. I'm definitely here to push my opinion and to voice my opinion. And I'm definitely, I've said many times, I think Christianity is harmful nonsense. I stand by that. But I don't have to be an ass about it. At least not a complete ass. Something I think should be brought to the table of theist-atheist discussion is the fact that each side has prejudice towards one side or the other. So the burden of proof is kind of on both people. One of my favorite atheists is Alex O'Connor. He's pretty good, because he's so respectful towards people's viewpoints, even when others aren't respectful to him. Yeah. I don't know what you were talking about, the burden of proof thing. Each side has prejudice towards the other, so the burden of proof is kind of on both sides. Burden of proof on whether or not there's a God is always going to be, on any claim, is always going to be on the one making the claim. Atheists just reject the claim. I don't claim there isn't a God. I just reject the claim that there is, based on lack of evidence. But there is prejudice that muddies the water. And you see just children sometimes, just atheists just being angry and rude to each other, and I don't know. Not really here for it. I mean, it's one thing if it's like debates. Sometimes debates get heated. I've had I've had many chat discussions that have gotten heated. I've had one or two Discord discussions, voice chat that have gotten heated. That's a thing, but surprised you didn't get your chair.
Definitely doesn't fit the vibe in here.
I guess that's true.
I know this is your chair in your office.
My chair in my office.
Mine doesn't fit the vibe.
Yeah, the state of modern discussions of differing viewpoints in all categories on all sides really needs to be more respectful. I would agree.
We're gonna have to fix that to fit the vibe.
Might have to repaint that to fit the vibe.
It doesn't fit the vibe.
Yeah, there's really nothing else in this office. It's a lot of it's really just nothing. Like, this is the office. Don't really have much in here at the moment, but if I put you back on this table, then you just see the pretty bookshelf and everything looks full and beautiful and neat, and we don't need to worry about the empty room that I'm sitting in.
It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. It is a work in progress. This is true. No, I absolutely, one of the reasons why I haven't been posting as much, one of many reasons, is just seeing how hateful and just unnecessarily disrespectful some other atheist content creators are. And knowing that when I put my name out there, when I put my voice out there, I'm usually lumping myself in with them. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Is this... I don't want to represent all of them, you know? And I know I don't. But that's the group that I'm going to get. I'm not going to get lumped in with the theists, you know, or with the Christians, certainly. What the fuck is that?
It's from my slipper.
Okay. But that's one reason. Another is just being discouraged at just how much we can push for what's right and fight for what's right, and push for critical thinking and humanism and things of the sorts, and it just gets steamrolled by bigotry, by religious bigotry and dogma and dumbness. It's discouraging. I've also just had a lot going on in my personal life that has kept me from being on my A game. I have not been at my best. Snickers.
Go back in. So ferocious. So ferocious with the pawing.
If it works.
It does. It does. A little piece of styrofoam.
The styrofoam. We're never going to escape the styrofoam.
I'm trying to help you. I'm helping.
I'm helping.
I'm helping.
Look at that.
She wants
Look at
help
that.
with you.
Look at that thumbnail.
I do. I see it.
That's a solid thumbnail.
Yeah, it is.
It's like the best of the thumbnail I've taken.
It looks great, babe. Hi.
One of my favorite things to say in response to Christians and Christian apologetics and whatnot is just asking for more clarification. Like somebody says, you're the proof. You're the proof of a God. How so? Well, all of history points to Jesus being real. How so? Half the time, that destroys the argument in and of itself, because people won't have a solid defense of the point that they made to respond to that how so. As a kitten. Pick the kitten.
Look at your face.
She's
She
so
was
happy.
literally looking up at you and like meowing like she wanted to get on your lap, and then she came up to me like, hey, pick me up. Big girl. Big girl kitten.
Girl kitten.
Big girl kitten.
Always just asking more information. Like, rather than just immediately jumping in and trying to say, like, no, that's not how it works or whatever, just asking for more elaboration. And who knows, maybe they can elaborate more and give you more interesting information and more interesting arguments that you can engage with and learn from and whatnot. But half the time, it just kind of stops there. As soon as you ask them to elaborate, they just kind of like don't have anything else. Unfortunately.
She doesn't know what to think about this.
It's a new room. The signs are there. If you are a believer, test the spirit. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to put God to the test. Stock up and repent. Stock up on what? Christ is coming back soon. Stock up on what?
I have eyes on at least 3 stars right now on your ceiling.
Yeah. And that was in response. Somebody posted, "Getting serious about Jesus is a must. He could return this August." This was obvious. It's a few months ago. And I said, but he hasn't returned for 2,000 years, even though it's been said many times throughout that the current generation at that time would see him return, and they didn't. People threw away their lives waiting for him to return, and he didn't. Why should we suspect he'll return now? They didn't respond because that's, again, ask for elaboration and you don't always get responses. Also, I was just a random commenter of like 140. Only 140 comment. You can respond to 100. But then somebody else commented that if you're a believer, test the spirit, repent, he'll be back. Stock up and repent. Stock up on what? I really want to know that. Stock up on hello mixed. And some of these accounts, I mostly am on Threads, am messing about on Threads. When people say stuff like that, like repent for Jesus all the way or whatever else, and I'll give my response, asking for elaboration or whatever else. And someone said, don't feed the trolls. They boost their accounts every time we react. That's true, but like, at the same time, interaction. At the same time, I want to interact. I want to talk. I don't think that's a terrible thing. How did you get through the time you were depressed? Which one? Just kept pushing. Just kept going. One day at a time, one foot after the other. Still live with, depression issues and anxiety issues on a daily basis. Just one foot after the other is the best way I have found forward. I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to give any kind of professional advice that anyone should listen to. But that's been me. Just keep pushing. My brother, in humanity, you cannot find God if your mind is already set against him. Your own mindset determines what you will accept. Determines what you will accept. True faith begins with an open heart, not a closed one. I mean, I'm open to whatever. I just need evidence. I'm sure the constant battering of circular arguments, fallacies, is really exhausting. I'm a theist, and even I find some arguments for theism stupid. Yeah, there's a lot of those bottom of the barrel, just like overused and recycled ones, where it's just like, shut up. There are good discussions, and I've had good discussions on these live streams before. There's good things that we can talk about, and then there's like, look at the trees. I don't know. When a person says God can't exist, miracles can't happen, and I don't say those things, and I refuse to believe unless I get the perfect evidence, then that person has already set up a material wall before examining anything, I assume. No, I'm open to whatever. I just need evidence. I hold God to the same standard of evidence that I hold everything else. I just need reason to believe. Why should I believe? Why should I believe in him, and why should I follow him? I'm not that kind of atheist. I should say that. I'm not like other atheists. I'm a little bit more chill. Because there could be. I would like there to be something else out there. I don't really know what else, but I would like there to be something else out there. Spiritualism, afterlife, maybe some eternal loving being who's got everything under control. Not really into any of the proposed gods of the religions that I've encountered thus far, but like something else, would be cool. I'd be down, I used to be a devout Christian dedicated to the Christian God. I thought that I had a good connection to like the spiritual realm and all of this stuff, and I miss that. Well, you should believe in him because he loves you and he wants you to open your heart to him. That's not a great reason to believe, because I have no reason to believe any of that. So, I don't know. Maybe there's hope for me. Maybe he'll figure something out. I think my camera, I keep adjusting it. I feel like I'm still crooked. I actually have a non-plane backdrop that I have to like try to, yeah, maybe there's hope for me. I like to say, especially with the Christian God, an all-knowing God should know what it would take to convince me. An all-powerful God should be able to do whatever it takes to convince me. And an all-loving God who wants a relationship with me should want to convince me and should therefore do what it would take to convince me. But he hasn't. So, and I'll probably burn in hell for all of eternity. What can you do? What can you do? Well, I don't know about all that, dog, but I will tell you something I tell my kids. You've survived 100% of your worst days, so you're not doing too bad. Yeah. I would agree with that, No matter how bad things have been, you're still here. That's pretty cool. I think that's good advice just to give to anyone. It's like, yeah, but like, you're still here. It's kind of badass. He granted us free will. He wouldn't be all-loving if he just take our indecisions for himself. Well, belief isn't exactly a free will option. You're either convinced enough of something to warrant a belief or you're not. So belief doesn't... those are in two separate categories. Belief isn't a free will matter. Now, once I have... especially because I want to believe. If he's real, if he's out there, I want to know and I want to believe. So there's my will. But then it's after we have reason to believe. that the free will comes in to determine whether or not we want to follow him. That's where the free will part comes in. I used to be fundamentalist evangelical Christian. It was emotionally abusive. I've heard stories about the fundamentalist Christians, evangelical Christians, all that good stuff. Doesn't sound fun. I'm glad my parents weren't too terrible. Like, my upbringing wasn't too strict in that regard. Hello. You're an atheist? That's an unforgivable sin, bro. Darn. I don't really believe in the concept of sin as put forth in the Bible. I can be down with the concept of sin in like a colloquial sense, of just like something bad done, you know. But as far as the Christian approach and all that stuff, doesn't really hold much weight.
I'm cat trapped.
She just seems to want to cuddle tonight.
I am cat trapped. She is not trying to get off me. Not once.
Kitten. Alright, well, I can't really change your mind, but here's my tip for you. Go open a Bible app, and if you have a Bible, open it up and read it and meditate in its scriptures. I used to do that quite frequently, actually. During meditation and like adoration and stuff growing up, I loved, one of my favorite things was just to open a Bible to a random passage and just read it and reflect on it. But yeah, I've read some Bibles. I have a few back here. I've read that one, and therefore that one, because they're like the same thing. This is a different edition of the same thing. So like, I've never read that one, so I don't know how different it is. I've read an e-version of the of that one, of the King James. I've also read an e-version of the English Standard Version. I've listened to an audiobook of the NRSV Bible, I think at least twice all the way through. Maybe 2.5 times all the way through. So yeah, you know, I've gone through it a couple times. Indigenous peoples' spirituality with nature sounds peaceful, though I don't know if I practice it, but I love nature. Yeah. I mean, even if you don't like full on practice it, there's some nice things that can be gotten from different beliefs and religions, you know, even if you're not all on board. There can be some beauty to like the spirituality of nature. I more than any other religion, I've vibed with Buddhism. I've even used some of its practices to help me with my anxiety and to help me fall asleep at night. So, there's good things to be gotten from different beliefs. Why do so many Christians act so arrogant when talking about their perspective on God? It's like their perspective is the only valid one. Not all Christians, it's never all Christians, of course, but a lot of them. There are a lot of Christians that do come forth with a bit more of a condescending, I have been chosen and you have not been. I am holier than thou. I'm the one who has found the way and am here to save you and show you the way. It does put people on, at least in their minds, a pedestal above the commoners or the heathen. Whether it's really an intentional thing on their part or not. It's just the type of mindset that this idea of being chosen, being saved, having the way, and being sent to save others just kind of tends to have that effect on a lot of people. Well, you're talking about faith over here. Here's my advice to you. Go with your gut, my man. If it leads you a certain way, follow it. Throw logic out the door and go with what your gut. That is, I think, terrible advice. I would have to disagree wholeheartedly. Going with your gut can be wrong quite often. Are you good?
getting sleepy now.
You're getting sleepy.
I can't move, and so I'm just being forced to like just lay here.
Just in a beanbag chair with a cat laying on you.
With a cat laying on me, keeping me warm. I'm getting sleepy.
My soothing voice, lulling you off to sleep.
Yeah.
Or my boring voice, however you like to interpret that.
Soothing. I have a nice soothing voice.
Yeah, but maybe you can change your mind and heart. We really can't try and hold you, force you down to believe in God. That would be unloving, and so yeah, I pray for you, my brother. Sounds good. I mean, one of these days, there's a list. There's like a small army of people who are praying for me. Small army. So maybe one of these days I'll get enough people praying for me where like something actually will happen. So just add your prayers to the list, I guess. Try not to sneeze.
How comfy does she look?
Very. She looks very comfy. Gotta go, head out, see ya. Thank you for stopping by. Don't throw logic out the window. Kick the baby. Don't kick the baby. Throw logic out. Throw logic out the window. Don't throw logic out the window. This is the cat trap that Taylor has found herself in.
I'm cat trapped. Chilling here.
Such a big kitten.
She is.
She's such a big kitten.
Big comfy kitty.
Big comfy kitty. Taking into consideration logic in your own relationship with your emotions about the topic. It could be a mix. There could be a mix. Jesus says those pretentious Christians need to take a chill pill. On the Sermon on the Mount, he literally says, "Blessed are the meek." I say, I like to think if, the whole Christian nationalism really takes charge and Christianity becomes the law of the land in the U.S., I think that we should be like Christ-like. Openly mock and shit on religious authority. Flip tables. Create a whip to help drive unwelcomed intruders out of your home. And just fight back, push back against the wrong religious authority of the time, like Jesus did. Main objective towards Christianity. When it comes to stuff like this, it's really two camps, and I don't really know which one I would put on top of the other. There's the belief stance. There's the belief camp, where I just have no reason to believe in it. I have no good reason to believe any of it's true. And then there's the, how would I phrase that? Would I follow it even if it is true, or the harm part of it? I think Christianity is a harmful religion. I think the Bible is a terrible book. I think that God represented in the Bible is a monster that I wouldn't want to follow even if he was real, no matter what he offered me or threatened me with. So those are really the two categories that I play with. And when I speak about Christianity, I have a stance of I think Christianity is harmful nonsense. So that kind of covers both of those. It's harmful and it's nonsense. It's harmful and I don't have any reason to believe it's even true to begin with. So those are where I'm at. My chair just made a loud noise. Don't break on me, chair. I've only had you for... I think this chair's been in my life longer than you have.
Oh, God.
Did I have this when we started dating?
Yes, you'd always spin in it all the time.
So this is
Just
like...
spin.
So this is like a 15-year-old chair, probably.
It would be a shame if it just like gives out from underneath you and
It would be a shame. But it's hanging in there. I even had to. This is a cover. It's actually like a leather chair, but all of the leather has just shredded off over the years, revealing just like the fabricy material underneath. So I had to put a cover over it to make it look nice.
I got you another one here for like Christmas or something.
And I love it. It gives new life to the chair. We don't need to think about the rotting corpse of a chair that I've been sitting in and abusing for 15 years. That's underneath it.
See, I feel like every now and then you've lifted your chair up and it just falls.
Yeah, sometimes what would that be, like a hydraulic system probably? Sometimes that doesn't quite work. So why do you think the God of the Bible is evil? Partner reveal. Yeah, my wife is in the corner.
Hey.
He supports things like genocide, slavery, child abuse, and misogyny. He's an egotistical, abusive monster. Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
Are you actually moving anything? Or yours repositioned?
Just reposition. Kitten.
Repositioning. Yo.
I pointed the camera at her a couple times during this live.
I'm currently cat trapped.
There's another kitten.
Uh-huh.
That is the idea you have of God based on what you understood, what you read. Okay? It's not what the Bible says. Okay. So God doesn't commit genocide in the Bible. Just take an example. So like when God sends the flood and literally wipes, factory resets life on Earth besides Noah and his family. That was just like JK didn't happen.
She doesn't know what to think. I got up.
Comfy beanbag chair.
She's gonna get herself comfy on there and I'm gonna lose my seat.
I guess she hasn't really had a whole lot of interaction with the beanbag chair in recent years.
Oh, yep. Comfy cat. Look at that. Now I've lost my seat. I needed to get up anyway. I was getting too sleepy.
There are plenty of reasons to think that the language about killing all the Canaanites is hyperbolic. No, not really, and that's also not the example that I gave.
To the person that wanted to see my face. Hi.
Also, no, God straight up marched the Israelites into the land of Canaan so they could lay siege to it. If you read the book of Joshua, literally, they just go and lay siege to it, killing men, women, children, babies, livestock, burning down cities and whatnot. Just absolutely laid siege to it. But again, that's not the example that I brought up. Y'all are cute together. Thanks.
Thank you.
Might keep her around another year. Who knows?
It's only been, what, 14?
It's only been 14.
It's only been 14.
There's still time.
It's still time.
Afterwards, the same scripture forbids the Israelites to marry the Canaanites. Why would it give that prohibition if none remained? There still remained people in the land of Canaan and in the surrounding areas. But it doesn't change the fact that a very, very, very large number of Canaanites were murdered. And again, that's not the example that I gave of genocide that I kind of wanted to discuss. I brought up the flood. There was slaughter and genocide. Genocide doesn't have to be to completion. There was slaughter and genocide in the land of Canaan. I'll address the flood in a moment. Okay, we can keep talking about the terrible, terrible things that the Israelites did in the land of Canaan. That's okay. So what else about the Canaanites? You believe in ghost spirits, stuff like that? I don't. I really, 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 really wish they were a thing. I think more than anything else, like in the realm of the supernatural, I wish there was like ghosts and spirits and stuff. Especially because I used to firmly believe that I had like a special connection with like the spiritual realm, ghosts and spirits and stuff. Uh, and I liked that. And I don't believe in any of it, so. Smokey. What was that?
Sorry, had to go be boss for a second.
Oh.
had to go do boss duties. my person needed help.
They burn babies alive to their gods. So God commanded the Israelites to go in and murder the babies and the children. Like, he didn't even save them. He didn't even say, like, go in and, like, stop the babies from being murdered. He just said go in and kill. God used the Israelites to bring judgment upon the Canaanites, just as he used the Babylonians to judge the Israelites later. Sure, but the babies. What did the babies do? And I understand in the Bible, I think the Bible, in many ways, reads like a myth. And in one of the ways that it reads like a myth is that every time there's this antagonistic city or group or whatever else, it just says they're evil, they're terrible, they're doing all these terrible things, and so they had to be destroyed. It was just this evil unit that needed to be destroyed. But that's not how reality works. There wouldn't be like not a single nice person there that could be spared or whatever. You're not really supposed to think about the babies and the children who haven't done anything wrong or could have been saved or adopted. You just think of it as there's this evil entity, and the Bible justifies its actions against that evil entity and kind of just ignores some of the more, what you would come across if you really think about it more, some of the real world, realistic things about it. It's hyperbolic language about absolutely everyone being killed. God said, I mean, yeah, there were some areas where, like, in the Israelites' overall conquest, where God's like, oh, you can save the unmarried girls for yourself, and keep them for yourself. That's great. But a lot of the times, it was men, women, children, all of them, dead. I really disagree that it would be hyperbolic language. I understand that makes it easier to swallow and easier to harmonize this idea of God actually being a loving God. He wouldn't, do these things, but he's not in the Bible, and he would do these things. Like when he killed all the firstborn in Egypt. There's a lot of babies there. And he just, boom. What did they do? What did the babies do? Why did they have to be punished for the actions of Pharaoh that were directly influenced by God, because God kept hardening Pharaoh's heart so that he wouldn't let the Israelites leave? But that's another, sorry, I'm not trying to get on a tangent, but it's not out of God's character to kill innocents, to kill babies. Not in the slightest.
I still wish I could find more of those stars, but they blend in so perfectly to the ceiling.
Alternate definition of baby boomer, maybe. Okay, let's say that you are right, and the Israelites killed the babies, like God killed the firstborn of Egypt, okay? How can you, as an atheist, judge God? I'm not trying to be that Christian, But how do you know what is good if there is no God and or ultimate authority to dictate what is good and evil? We've kind of developed, there is no objective morality. I don't think. I guess I can't objectively state that, but I don't believe in objective morality. But we do have a system of morals and ethics that we have evolved over time, generally based around human well-being, a system that we've put together as we've learned how to deal with one another and work together for the betterment of a society and the people in a society, including ourselves. And I think it's a pretty good set. We could just throw morals out the window and just say nothing matters. It's kind of the alternative, I guess. But I think the moral system that we've put together, that we plugged into our religions and everything, and then those religions tried to hijack the morality and act like they couldn't have it without, that we couldn't have morals without the religion, even though the morals probably came first. But it just seems like a pretty good system. I mean, if you want to argue that, sure, killing babies, there's nothing wrong with killing babies, sure. I wouldn't make that argument, but if that's the hill you want to die on. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be that Christian who completely throws all morality, hundreds of thousands of years of humans figuring out morals and ethics to work together for the betterment of humanity, if you want to throw all of that out the window because someone doesn't believe in your specific God being, I guess you have that option, but that's not exactly how I like to play. Hoopy Froods. What on earth is that? Also, hello. Is that like happy friends? What is who? I hope you haven't tricked me into saying something terrible. People have done that before in these live streams. I'm afraid to keep repeating it in case it is a trap. But hello, welcome. I notice there are usually imperfections in the human reasoned morals, and even if God isn't living, in your opinion, that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. But I notice that there are usually imperfections in the human reasoned morals. There's imperfections in God morals too, like when he says don't kill and then commits genocide. Even if God isn't living, in your opinion, that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. I mean, if he exists and he's around and he's a God, then he's alive to some definition. It might not be quite to the same definition as like humans are alive, but he is living and existing, doing things, acting to some degree. Do you realize that you're being fallacious? You say, well, morality is subjective, but then we point out that you have no basis, so make that claim. And you say, I'm sorry, I cut you out. I'll let it post you finish. Loving. Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Okay, that makes more sense. Even if God isn't loving, in your opinion, that doesn't mean he doesn't exist. Correct. I absolutely agree. Just because he is an asshole does not mean that he cannot exist. I completely agree with that. It's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I've heard about that. I feel like it's something that I should look into, but I haven't. One who fears judgment. I'm not like ignoring your chat. It cut off like in the middle of a sentence, and I'm waiting for like the rest of it. I don't want to like respond before like you're done, because I know like you're limited in chat. So you say, but then we point out that you have no basis to make that claim, and you say, and then it stops. So I want to let you get your full point in before I respond. Yes, yes, I'm about to respond. I'm kind of writing it. You're good. No stress.
She has gotten very, very comfortable.
Yeah, she is. It's a comfy chair. I mean, have you ever been in one of those like giant beanbag chairs? You can just
want
curl
one
up in
of
the
those
middle of
giant-
one of those.
I want one.
That's
of those
basically
giant
what it
ones.
is to her.
I mean, now I got the big circle couch, so.
Do you have the big circle couch? Not quite the same, but you know, it's like
No, but for me, I laid in the middle of that. I'm like, oh, I love this.
the boneless couches that we have downstairs.
But yeah, no, I want one of those big giant fucking human chairs.
I might have to look into that. To the Hitchhiker's Guide thing. Here, I'll take a picture of that thing that you just sent. Love your hey handsome. I love your rugged look. Thanks. I can rock a beard. I often choose not to.
You can.
I can rock a beard.
You can.
The only
No-
reason.
No goatee and no just mustache.
The only reason I have a full beard right now and I haven't shaved it off is because it's winter and it's cold and my face gets cold. My face gets cold just existing in the world in the wintertime, and also I work in a refrigerated department. So it's warm face. Subjective morality is the default because there is no other position you can take without proof of subjective morals. Without demonstrating X is immoral the same way. Without demonstrating X is immoral the same way you can say 2 + 2 = 4. It's all we have. Yeah. And even if there is a God, even if there is an objective moral lawgiver, these objective morals are still based on the subjective ideas and opinions of this being. So it is still subjective. The Bible never says killing is bad. It says not to murder, which is unlawful and unjust killing of a person. And if God does exist, that makes the universe, even he would decide what is just. So he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. So the rules just don't apply to him. Will you move to a warm location? Thought about it. I don't have money. Not the most financially well off. We're not doing terrible these days. I'd say we're doing pretty good. But like middle class, low-ish middle class. Not let's move someplace that has a warmer temperature that is probably more expensive and find new jobs and leave family and friends behind in our little support system that we have
And you see
over
the
here.
flash because I'm over here. I have to place cooler because I can't do the heat.
Yeah, you'd want someplace cooler.
I
Yeah,
can't,
yeah,
my
I couldn't-
body can't do the heat.
I wouldn't be able to take Taylor someplace hot anyway because she would die.
You give me a pool, and maybe I'll be okay.
So we'll just hang out in Kansas. I mean, Kansas is, it's alright. I'll be happy one half of the year. She'll be happy the other half of the year. It gets into the 90s, hundreds during the summer, and well below freezing in the winter. Somewhere in between in the in between seasons.
Range.
Have you ever thought about growing out your hair?
You
I
have.
have.
You have grown it out.
When I first started making content, I was growing it out. Here, let me see if I can share a picture. Let's see if I
Did you
can.
have one? Did you ever have a picture of you with long hair and beard going?
I didn't usually have beard with long hair because
You
I didn't feel like they went well together. Where's my long hair pic? It's in here somewhere. Give me a second. Give me.
Somewhat had longer hair in your profile picture there. On your account.
Oh, it was a little bit longer.
Not quite as long.
That's about as long as it got. And that's about as tame as it got when I first started making this content. So
It got
I have.
curly. It
I-
was so curly.
I didn't hate the look of it at all. Hated the maintenance. I don't like, you know, I don't even do my hair in the morning when it's this short. I just put a hat on. Because I work in a refrigerated apartment, and it's usually somewhat cold in the mornings, even during the summer. So I just put a hat on, call it good. And if I do anything with my hair, I just wet it down and dry it off, and it's good to go. When it's long, it's a whole different thing, especially when it's that long. It's a nightmare to take care of. Did not like it. But I did like the look. I am sometimes tempted to like grow it out again, but it'd just be a whole process growing it out that long again, and it just
Who is that model?
I just hated it. You know, it just wasn't. When I finally got my hair cut after that, the first shower was amazing, just because I didn't have so much hair to wash. It was no. I just prefer short hair. I can rock some long hair, but I just prefer short hair.
I feel like you preferred the long hair without the maintenance.
Yeah.
You
And
really did like
especially-
the look of the long hair.
and
It's
especially
just the maintenance.
The picture that I just showed was like how it looked 1% of the time. All the other times it was just like frizzy and just like out of control because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I learned tricks with like bobby pins and shit to help maintain it. But anyway, what sort of facility do you work in? I work at a department store, supermarket. I think would be a good descriptor. Supermarket, grocery store. And I work in the dairy department, the refrigerated department. I'm in Central California, and winters here have dense fog. It's depressing. Interesting. They're like, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. You look like an indie band singer in that pic. Maybe. Are you a Bible guy? Do you know it and like discussing it? I do have a decent knowledge of it, and I enjoy discussing it. I haven't cut my hair since skull surgery in October. I want my short hair back. Damn, hang in there. Just gotta get that recovery. Okay. Do you realize that you were being fallacious? You say, well, morality is subjective, but then we point out that you end up not having a basis in which to condemn genocide, and you say, oh, so you can't figure out for yourself that genocide is evil. Well, as long as there is no objectivity to it, you can't figure it out. Well, God could still follow his own... No, I'm sorry, that was somebody else, sorry. We know that it's evil. The difference is that we can explain why. I mean, I gave my explanation of where our morals came from, including, from the looks of it, Christian morals. We had morals and plugged it into our religions and then have filtered those out of the religions as religions try to now hijack morality and pretend that morals cannot possibly exist without morality, even though we have zero reason to believe that morals came from any kind of higher being or anything. It just seems like it's something that we figured out over time. So there is no objective morality. So if we want to have a world where things like genocide aren't actually considered evil or bad, we can do that. It's just not going to work out for us. Survival, even selfish survival, it just wouldn't work out. It wouldn't be a safe and stable. It already isn't a safe and stable world when we mostly agree that genocide is bad. So especially if we try to throw some of that stuff out the window, some of this framework that we've built for morals and ethics based on what has worked for us in the past, if we start throwing some of that out, it isn't practical, it isn't good, it isn't in the best interest of humans as a society or as individuals. Why isn't wrong enough for you? Why does it have to be magically wrong? Fair. Fair. No, I will admit, and then this isn't a shot at you, one who, I'm just going to call you one. This isn't necessarily a shot at you, but the moral argument is like one of the most annoying to me. I'm still willing to have it, and that's why I'm having it, and you're like, you're fine. But it's just so annoying, this idea of just religion trying to hijack morality and pretend that you can't have morals without this God. You can't have a say in what is right and wrong without this being that we, for all we can tell, made up and plugged our own morals at the time into. It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. It's dismissive to people like me who don't believe in your specific brand of deity. I will probably end the live stream soon as well. Historical evidence for the resurrection argument. You can try giving some of that evidence before I have to go, because I don't believe there is any. Maybe it's annoying, but do you understand that morality cannot exist objectively? Correct. Maybe subjectively, but nothing else, without a rational justification. I do not believe in objective morality, even with a God. Even with your God, I don't believe in objective morality. Because if your God exists and is the one deciding what objective morality is, it is still based on his subjective opinion on morals. What is your live schedule? I usually go live every Tuesday at about 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sometimes it has to be moved or changed or canceled. And I'll usually give heads up the day of or like the day before about that. Sometimes, if I'm able, I like to do extra live streams at different points of the week. Not always, and hasn't been recently. I mean, I had to completely cancel last week's live stream just because of how life is going right now and how busy I've been. But in a perfect world, I would do more live streams. But I do try to stick with the schedule of the 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time live stream on Tuesdays. I do try to stick to that. I heard you talking about genocide and why we could hopefully agree that it's wrong, but do you believe that genocide is wrong? I heard you talking about genocide and why we could hopefully agree that it's wrong, but do you believe that genocide is wrong? And if so, why? I think that we all are human lives, all equal and independent and dependent on one another. I think the world is a better place when we're working together and not killing each other. I think everyone has the same rights, deserves the same rights as I should enjoy. So I think when we kill someone, we are killing a living, breathing, thinking, feeling human just like us. And I believe that's wrong, and I just don't believe it's practical. I don't think it builds a better world or a better society, even just from a selfish standpoint. I live in this society. So if I would like to be against a society where we do genocide and stuff like that, because that fucks the society and its ability to work. And it's a society that we are all dependent on. Those are a couple of my reasons. The Gospels are eyewitness accounts and accounts of those who knew eyewitnesses. They are written in a way that make them very likely to be actual witness accounts. For example, the undesigned coincidence in the Gospels, for an example. In one of the Gospels, I forgot which one, during the feeding of the 5,000, it says that they sat on green grass. And why is it important, you may ask? Well, because in the other Gospels, which was John, it casually gives the answer, which it indicates that the feeding was during the Passover. Passover was in spring. So, you know, a lot of the gospel accounts copied off of one another. Mark came first, and then Matthew and Luke copied Mark pretty decently, and while adding their own flair to it. And then John went completely off the rails. John went his own way, and just kind of did his own thing. Um, but no, somebody saying that the grass was green, and then somebody else later on, when they're adding their own flair to the story, saying that it was because it was spring, isn't all that impressive to me. And again, I will say I'm going to end the live stream soon, so if I have to like cut off in the middle of like a discussion, I can't go live all night. I'm sorry. I always hate it when we get into like more interesting stuff. Not that we haven't been talking about interesting things, but you know, I'm in the middle of another interesting conversation, and like we're starting other interesting conversations. Like I gotta go. They were written decades after the fact in a style of writing typical of someone writing in the 1st and 2nd century. Yeah, we have no idea who wrote the Gospels. They were written anonymously, and we have no reason to believe that they were eyewitness accounts. So the discussion goes back to whether God is evil or not. Now, according to its own standards. Okay. The Gospels are a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. Some people, it's stories that were passed down, and then somebody decided to write it down, or multiple somebodies. You should also look at some of the Gospels, some of the accounts of Jesus' life that didn't make it into the canon of the Bible, and some of the books and stories in general that didn't make it into the Bible. Doesn't God punish the innocent for other sins and allow slavery and rape? Is this supposed to be divinely ordained morality? I suppose. It didn't say it was because it was spring. It said John was in spring, which is more casual than saying it's because it's spring because, I'm sorry, I can't read sometimes, forgive me. It didn't say it was because it was spring. Said in John the feeding was in spring, which is more casual than saying it because it's spring because it lacks certain details than other ones. Yeah, other accounts add their own tales and spins, and in some cases tell the story completely different, like the women going to the tomb, or even like the agony in the garden. The book of John cuts out the agony of the garden completely. It does like the opposite. Jesus gives a speech about like how he needs to do this, and he's like the closest he gets to the agony of the garden is, and what should I say, that I don't want this to happen to me? No, I can't do that. And then he just like goes back to like how I just have to do this. Or like the thieves on either side of him. In one account, it has both of them mocking him, and another, it has one mocking him and one being nice. They're different because they're different perspectives, yes. But different eyewitness perspectives. Different perspectives, sure. Different renderings of a story that they heard, that has been passed down, that they're copying off of this person, that they're hearing from other people of this story that's exists for a reason, you know, whether it was made up or actually happened, or somewhere in between something, you know, happened and they immediately historical fictionalized it. People are going to have their own different takes and their own different stories. Still doesn't really get us to like the credibility of eyewitness accounts. The Bible also said shepherds tended the flocks in the fields when Jesus was born, indicating it was definitely not winter. Interestingly, the winter solstice is very much in late December. Weird. I'm pretty sure it's agreed that Jesus wasn't actually born in December. Their church just kind of like picked that day, and they had reasons. It wasn't just like, oh, pick this one, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty well agreed that he wasn't born in December. But I think if I'm correct here, 2 of the gospel writers were eyewitnesses. 2 of them were supposed to be. Yeah. Or written in a manner of eyewitness accounts. But we still don't know if they were actually eyewitness accounts. We still have no reason to believe that they were actually eyewitness accounts. And with that, I do think I have to end it there. Did you ever believe? Yes, I was a devout Christian for the first 20 plus years of my life, dedicated to the Christian God. I wanted to be an apologist, to spread God's light, love, and message as far as I could, throughout the whole world if I could. And it was when I was in high school when I took a Christian apologetics class, which apologetics is basically just defending the faith, debate stage, stuff like that, where I realized I was not equipped for the task. So I dove into my studies to equip myself and learned too much. It's kind of the short version of the story. Slowly over the course of about 7 years, I drifted away from my faith and am now an atheist. He chose December 25th as his birthday to co-opt other pagan holidays. That's one idea that I've heard. Don't move the stool. The reason why I mentioned undesigned coincidence is because it shows it's written like an eyewitness account. For example, if there is a bank robbery, the witness says the robber tripped. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole different conversation. And it's a conversation that I heard on the line recently. So I don't know where you got this, but I just want to make sure you know. Because you're repeating a lot of the same stuff that I heard somebody else say on another thing. I really want to make sure you're not just repeating what they said. I really want to make sure this is coming from your own bank of information, and not just repeating something that you heard someone say online. And maybe it is coming from your own bank, and maybe that's something that we can discuss at a later time. Mixed was here. I don't know where they went, but they were chatting earlier. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for the conversations, for the likes, for the subscribes, for whatever. It is greatly appreciated. I'm always appreciative of anyone who's willing to give me more than 2 seconds of their time. I'm a random nobody on the internet. There's no real reason that you should listen to me at all. I'm just kind of here. So thank you. It means a lot for you being here. And thank you so much for the conversations. I hope that my schedule, I usually go live at about 9:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Tuesdays, is usually my schedule. So thank you for being here. And I know I cut off some of these conversations. I really would like to continue these. Don't be strangers. Do not be afraid to come back and keep discussing these things. I just can't be live all night. So thank you all sincerely so much for being here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your night, day, whenever you're watching this, and I will hopefully see you later.